Previously on Dragon Ball Shinken, after Cumber achieves his Shinken form, Goku and Vegeta recognize that they are no longer enough to defeat the Godslayer, and so they decide to resort to fusion. As soon as he appears, Gogeta completely humiliates the Godslayer, who in an act of desperation, creates an energy attack that simply surpasses the size of the entire universe. Will Gogeta be able to stop this attack containing all of Cumber Shinken's energy with his power multiplied 80,000 times by Kaoken? Find out now. Episode 28, The Power That Transcends Universes. On Tien's home planet, the sky is completely taken over by Cumber's energy, obviously catching the attention of all the inhabitants and leaving them completely desperate, believing it to be a sign of the end of times. But among everyone, the most desperate is certainly Tien, who has a slightly better idea of what is happening, and although he cannot measure the dimension of that abysmal power, he can understand that the proportions it will take are unimaginable. On Earth, Earthlings also watch the sky being taken over by this strangely colored energy, and they go into total despair. At Kami's lookout, young Master Roshi, God Yamcha, and Krillin watch this event with their hearts completely filled with terror. In Hell, the despair is also very great, with King Kai and King Yama simply freaking out. In despair, King Kai says that this has completely crossed all limits. The result of this for Cumber is shocking. The muscles in his body have abruptly deflated, now giving him a dry and cadaverous appearance. Gogeta is very surprised and impressed by this. Damn, this guy just channeled all the energy concentrated in his body into this thing. After understanding this, Gogeta says to Cumber, "Are you crazy, Cumber? If this thing explodes, I'm sure all universes will be completely destroyed. Not even you will survive this." But Cumber, completely overcome by fury and madness, says it doesn't matter. All he cares about is completely destroying Gogeta. At Zeno's palace, Daishinkan is apparently talking with the two mysterious people who have just arrived. "I completely understand the situation," the Grand Minister says, clearly in a cordial tone towards the visitors. However, he also issues a warning, "But I have my doubts whether they will peacefully obey you." But he stops talking when he feels something that makes even the Father of Angels feel a chill take over his body. Zeno and his guards, who are watching everything through the Daishinkan hologram, are completely perplexed by what they are seeing. "This is bad!" Daishinkan exclaims. "If all this power spreads, all universes will disappear, and even this palace will be destroyed." Gogeta looks at Cumber with a serious look, recognizing that his enemy has completely crossed all limits. Cumber says that not even he will be able to survive this, and then launches the attack capable of destroying the entire multiverse. Gogeta, in a curious move, simply begins to increase the size of his body. He begins to expand until becoming gigantic, then continues expanding, gaining titanic proportions. However, he goes even further by growing his body to completely stratospheric proportions, surpassing the size of the universe and even surpassing Cumber's globe of power. Gogeta's body takes on an unimaginable dimension, and when Cumber's globe of power of universal proportion reaches him, Gogeta simply makes juggles with it. Gogeta treats that massive sphere of power, capable of destroying the multiverse, like a soccer ball. King Kai simply sees his mouth hit the ground with such shock. Equally shocked are Zeno, his guards, and even Daishinkan. They can't believe what they're seeing. And as for Cumber, he just doesn't know what to feel. Cumber sees that completely paralyzed, taken by a deep state of shock that perhaps even his heart has stopped. "That's kind of fun," Gogeta says, while using his feet to play with the attack. But it's best not to joke about it too much. Gogeta takes the energy globe in his hand and then, using a Hakai with power on a cosmic scale, he makes all of Cumber's energy disappear from existence. There is no explosion, reverberations, vibrational waves, nothing like that. Without any fanfare, that multiversal scale power of destruction disappears as if it were nothing. On planet Earth, on Tien's home planet, and on all the other planets in Universe 7, the sky returns to normal. In Hell, King Kai and King Yama, despite the shock, show great relief. and in Zeno's palace, the supreme god of the multiverse watches everything wide-eyed, seeing that this was absolutely incredible. Even Daishinkan sighs, making clear his great relief. "Well, well, what an interesting fellow," says one of the visitors, drawing everyone's attention. For a moment, Cumber is silent, with his body now completely rickety and a cadaverous expression. "So, is there anything else you want to try?" Gogeta asks him after returning to his original size. "No," Cumber responds. His voice, previously high and filled with fury and arrogance, is now low, reflecting a heart as emptied as his muscles. He returns to his base form and then admits, "Not even if I continued evolving for hundreds of years, would I be able to reach your level." Gogeta smiles as he also returns to his base form, and then he responds by saying that it was good that Cumber recognized that at once. Gogeta goes to Cumber and says he's going to take him to Zeno, and warns him not to try anything. Gogeta touches Cumber, and using telepathy, mentally warns Daishinkan that he intends to take Cumber to them, but says that Daishinkan can rest assured, as Cumber will no longer pose any danger. Daishinkan receives Gogeta's mental message with a bit of surprise, saying that he didn't expect him to be able to send telepathic messages over such a great distance. Gogeta says this is one of his many improved skills. Daishinkan then agrees, and says that he can bring Cumber to them. Using teleportation with the same efficiency as Kai, Gogeta goes to Zeno's palace, being received with great joy by the Supreme God, who is so pleased with his presence that he jumps happily on his throne. Zeno says that Goku and Vegeta are absolutely incredible, and Gogeta is even more incredible. But Gogeta ends up not paying much attention to what Zeno is saying, as he notices two mysterious people in the place. The mysterious men look at Gogeta silently, and he does the same. The very weakened Cumber falls to his knees. Looking at him, Daishinkan comments that even his immortal body has been pushed to its absolute limits, and it is a little ironic to see someone who was so proud of his power in this depressing state. Zeno also stares at Cumber for a while, barely believing that this cadaverous-looking person was the same person who just a few minutes ago made his heart fill with terror. Daishinkan says that he has already managed to think of a destiny for Cumber, a special sealing technique used by himself, which will put Cumber in a trance state in a place from which he will never be able to leave. But one of the men present at that place says that this is not what will happen. He says that they are actually interested in Cumber and will take him and Gogeta. This statement leaves everyone present surprised, and Daishinkan asks why they want Cumber. But Gogeta asks what they want with him. Daishinkan explains to Gogeta that these people can help him with this problem of being lost between dimensions. And when he said he would help Goku and Vegeta deal with this problem, he was specifically referring to calling these people, but to his surprise, they appeared there even before he called. The other mysterious man says that men called Goku and Vegeta, as well as Gogeta and Cumber, have caused many problems in the order of dimensions, and this is causing very bad consequences for the natural order of things. That's what brought them there. Gogeta says he had no idea that Goku and Vegeta's situation was causing such big problems. He says that this is another reason for them to return to their reality soon, and says that he is very happy that someone arrived to help. But the mysterious man says that Gogeta didn't quite understand what he meant. He remembers that he just said that their actions caused a lot of problems, and because of that, they are going to be taken into custody. In custody? Gogeta repeats the words, and after pondering it, he gives his answer. I didn't really like the sound of that, so it won't happen. But they tell Gogeta that the option to refuse to go is not being given. When he hears this, he smiles and says that he doesn't think there's anyone there who can make him do anything he doesn't want to do. One of these men steps forward, warning Gogeta with a serious expression that if he resists, he will have to be taken by force. But Gogeta also steps forward, and as he begins to slightly increase his power, says that he can try to do that if he wants. Only with this change in Gogeta's mood does the palace begin to shake intensely, even making Zeno bounce on his throne. The bodyguards are scared, sweating at their temples, and Daishinkan just shuts up and observes. But not even he is calm about that. Gogeta raises one of his hands. However, it is already being held by the mysterious man, who arrived at him in the blink of an eye. This impresses even Gogeta, who lets his surprise show through his eyes, which are discreetly widened. With that man's touch, Gogeta feels his entire body paralyze. "It's as if the weight of the universe were on my shoulders," he comments on his own thoughts. "This guy's definitely not just anyone." But Gogeta is not intimidated. He suddenly surrounds his body with the energy of destruction, and when this energy touches the mysterious man's body, it simply shatters him, turning him into dust. But in a completely unbelievable event, the dust begins to gather, and the man's body reconstitutes itself. "What happened?" Gogeta exclaims, this time certainly not being able to hide a surprise. "The destructive power I put into this aura is greater than what I used in that energy globe that could destroy the entire multiverse." But Gogeta again doesn't let himself be intimidated, and advances with a punch that is as fast as a teleportation. But when his punch hits, it simply passes through the enemy, who goes behind him and, with the touch of his finger on Gogeta's spine, simply makes him paralyzed again. "It cannot be!" Gogeta exclaims, and then faints. With the exception of the other mysterious man, everyone present is completely amazed.